So harmful effect of flea infestation in different pet animals. The first harmful effect or deleterious effect is the production of anemia in adults as well as young animals. So this is not anemia is not very important, maybe not very important for adults animals because they can easily compensate. But this is very important for the young kittens and puppies. They may not compensate the blood loss through electrophoresis. And the second deleterious effect is called flea allergy dermatitis or FAD, F-A-D, FAD. So how this is produced? During feeding, flea bites the host and releases saliva into the host skin. And in this saliva, there are different antigens, but they are not complete antigens. They are considered as haften. So this haften later on binds with the host collagen to become the complete antigen. And this complete antigen will produce immediate type of hypersensitivity. But this is noted that you may not get immediate type of hypersensitivity or type 1 hypersensitivity at the first bite. So this can be seen in the sensitized animal. As a result, there will be intense pruritus and animal will become very restless. Due to the continuous discomfort, due to the itching, animal will try to get rid of this sort of discomfort or restlessness. So what they will do, they will go for scratching or grooming or biting or rubbing with the fixed objects. In the meantime, there will be secondary bacterial infection, which and combinedly or all together they will lead to severe dermatitis, pyoderma, and alopecia of the affected region. And there will be also skin thickening. And in case of the cat, there will be a small papule associated with pruritus. And this is also very discomfort situation. There will be intense pruritus as well as the cat will become restless. As a result, they will do the same thing, that is scratching, biting, and rubbing, as well as there will be secondary bacterial infection. So in cat, there will be seen miliary dermatitis. So dermatitis can be seen in the affected throughout the affected body part. And in this picture, this is you can see there is pruritus on the snout of a dog due to tunga penetrans infection. Harmful effects of flea infestation in birds. So you can see Echidnophaga gallinaceae on a rooster. They usually infest the comb, wattles around the eye and around the beak. So in both of the picture, you can see a lot of flea on the affected region. And this Echidnophaga gallinaceae, this is very important for the poultry because this flea can burrow the skin and they will produce a nodular lesion followed by swelling and ulceration of the site of attachment. And they will also, that is this flea will also suck enormous amount of blood. As a result, there will be anemia. So due to the local nodule formation as well as blood sucking activity, the young birds can be killed. Flea infestation in human or public health significance. Flea bites cause intense irritation for several days. Bites are characterized by a tiny purplish spot, and there are two types of spots can be seen. The first one is purpura pellicosa. This is the only purplish spot without any swelling. And this one is roseola pellicosa. This is due to the flea bite and surrounded by a slightly swollen skin. And in this picture you can see the tungiasis. If it is a lesion related to the tungiasis, you can see a black spot in the middle. And in this picture you can see flea releases a huge number of eggs from the affected site. And in tungiasis, this sort of lesion can be seen, and this sort of lesion is more common in people walk barefoot. Public health significance of flea infestation. So they produce annoying bite. As a result, there will be dermatitis, allergic reaction, and lesion on the skin. And due to the biting, there will be some discomfort situation, or due to this lesion, the discomfort situation exists for several days. And in Tungiasis or burrowing flea, there may be found painful lesion on the skin, feet, and toe. Flea can act as the intermediate host for the completion of life cycle of different tapeworm, and I'll talk about the vector importance in a moment. And flea has another very significant role in the transmission of different diseases. The first one is plague, and this disease is also known as urban plague, rural or sylvatic wild rodent plague, La Peste, Black Death, or bubonic plague. And there are different forms of the plague. You can uh, note it down as a side note. So the first one is bubonic plague. This is most common in human, characterized by enlargement of lymph node, particularly the axillary and the inguinal lymph nodes. The second form of the disease is called septicemic plague. In this case, pathogen moves to deeper tissues from lymph nodes, and organism in blood and capillary wall start to leak, turning the color of the skin black. As a result, or therefore they call it black death. The third form of the disease is called pneumonic or plague pneumonia. This is one of the most life-threatening forms of the disease. In this case, Yersinia pestis infect the lung, and the organism can be shedded through coughing and sneezing. So, without aggressive medical intervention, this form leads to the death of the patient, and patient die due to the exotoxin or endotoxin released by the dividing pathogens. And other role in the transmission of the diseases includes murine trypus and tungiasis. So as mentioned earlier, flea has a very significant role in the transmission of different disease producing agents. So they can transmit the virus, bacteria, protozoa, different nematodes, parasite, and cystores. So the virus, the first one, they transmit the myxoma virus, and it causes myxomatosis. The host is rabbit, and the distribution is Europe and Australia. Another common disease is Q fever. The organism is Coxella barneti, and this organism is transmitted by different flea species, and the host is mammals. And the most important uh, organism transmitted by the flea is called Yersinia pestis by the species Genopsilla chiopis. And this Genopsilla chiopis actually carries Yersinia pestis, and Yersinia pestis causes the disease called plague, and the distribution is global. And different types of protozoa are also transmitted by different species of flea. And uh, in the completion of the life cycle of different cystode and nematode, flea has a role. For an examples, uh, different sort of fleas, for an example, dog flea, cat flea, or Pulex irritans, human flea, or different rodent flea, they act as the intermediate host in the completion of life cycle of different cystores, such as Diphylidium caninum, Hymenelophis diminuta, Hymenelophis nana. And in canine filariasis caused by Diphetalonema reconditum, also transmitted uh, by different species of flea,